hanger because we didn't get through everything. Several of you have asked, where do I turn this in? I didn't put a place to turn it in because I didn't feel like I did an adequate enough job. I just wanted you to kind of look at it so we could go over each of these scenarios and then I could give you some practice. So today is going to be mostly just me going over these 4 different scenarios, and you'll see why they're kind of different. Doing that and then doing a little work in your groups to practice with factoring and moving on from there. In fact, we might do factor and solve. I haven't quite decided. I'm going to see how y'all feel about it. Right, boys? Yes. You don't have to ask me. You can just go. Look at number 1 on the back. X squared plus 6x plus 5. My first step is to always look for a what? GCF. Does this one have a GCF? Mr. Dale, turn around. Does this one have a GCF? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? No, be confident in your answer. No, I'm old. I can't hear well anyway, so make sure you yell at me. All right, so no, this doesn't have a GCF, so I can't take anything out. What's my next step? Y'all can do this. Step 2, if you don't remember, flip the sheet over and look. All right, so let's list out A, B, and C. What's A? B. C. What's my next step? Multiply the first and the last together, right? I get 5x squared. I'm looking for 2 things that multiply to 5x squared but add what? 6x. What are those 2 values? 1x and 5x. Is everybody okay? All right. Now what? Plug it into the, replace the 6x with 1x plus 5x because that's what 6x is, right? So I've got x squared plus x plus 5x. Does the order you write it matter? No, it does not matter. You'll still get the same thing in the end. What's next? Split it, slash it, cut it in 2. What is the GCF of the first 2 here? 1x. What's left when I take it out? X. Somebody said it, be confident. X plus 1. The middle sign carries down. It's always the same. And what can I take out of the last 2? 5. What's left? X plus 1. Is everybody okay? All right. Now what? X plus 1 goes in the front 1 time. Make sure you are checking your work or at the very least writing this down. Yeah, if there's one in there, you're welcome to. All right, let's look at number 2. I see several people without this sheet out. I'm not real sure why, since this is what we're doing. Are you one of them? I thought I saw your sheet. Calculus is begging me to go back to rows instead of groups. Y'all prefer rows as well? It's very hard to manipulate around, to maneuver around. I'm thinking about putting my board here and just going back to my rows. All right, tell me what's first. Find the GCF. Does it have a GCF? No. So I'm free to go on. This one's different. I hope you notice as you work through these 4, the difference that's going on here are my signs, and that's what's changing and going on. So multiply the first and last together. What multiplies to negative 12x squared but adds to negative 4x? Negative 6x and 2x. Is anybody confused? Everybody okay? Again, it does not matter which one comes first. I always go, and this is one of the little, I think I put this as one of the little tips at the bottom. I always put the negative first if I got mixed signs. It makes it a little bit easier as you factor. So when I slash here, what's the GCF of the first two? And what's left if I take that out? Middle sign stays. What can I take out of the last two? And what's left? If you've done it correctly, what's in parentheses will be exactly the same for you, sign and everything every single time. If you don't get the same thing, you've done something wrong. Okay? So the x minus 6 is the same. I'm going to take it out. What's left? X plus 2. If you did not learn grouping whenever you factored prior to coming in here, what do you think about grouping? I asked Miss Lopez. She said she taught y'all slip and slide.
Yeah,
that was worse. This is better. I don't know slip and slide. I know the box. I used to teach the box. You don't know slip and slide either. I told her y'all didn't know how to factor. She was quite distraught. And I was like, she said she's going to come in here and talk to y'all. What's different about this one? All right, not applicable. Think you can't do it? What's missing? A B. The B is missing. So let's rewrite it with the missing term, and let's see if we can indeed do it, or if it's not applicable, as Will says. All right. Is there a GCF? 4. I can actually take out a 4, right? If I take out a 4, I'm left with x squared plus 0x minus 9. Multiply the first and the last together, and what do you get? Are there two numbers? Now, everything is not factorable. There are some not applicable, or some CBFs is what I call them, cannot be factored. And if you can't find two of the magic numbers that make the equation work, that's how you know it's not factorable. But for this one, are there any two things you can think of? -3. If you ever have to add to 0, you're looking for the same number with opposite signs. You're looking for a perfect square, right? And so I heard -3 and 3, and that is exactly right. It helps when you put the 0 in the middle so you can really see it. This 4 is just going to track down with me as I go. Remember, I put the negative first, but it doesn't have to be that way. This makes it a little bit easier in my factoring. So I'm going to go ahead and slash this bad boy. What can I take out of the first two? X. What's left when I take out an X? What can I take out of the last two? What's left? It better be the same thing, right? And it's x minus 3. So now I've got 4. I'm going to take the x minus 3 out. And when I take that out of both of them, what's left? X plus 3. You may remember from back in Algebra 1, if you remember Algebra 1, that this is actually a difference of two squares and is a special pattern that, and we'll talk about that probably Monday a little more. Yeah. It's always confusing. Yeah, these are always confusing. All right, look at the last one, number 4. Tell me what I can do first. Yeah, that's exactly right. What is the GCF here? 2. What's left when I take out 2? All right, so now I need to know what multiplies to 6x squared, but what does it have to add up to? -7, right? This is where this one's different. All of these are a little bit different. I tried to include one of each kind of scenario that you would see. What multiplies to 6x squared but adds to -7x? There you go. -6 and -1. Everybody see that? It multiplies to a positive, it still adds to a negative. Everybody okay? So I have x squared minus 6x minus 1x plus 6. This always throws everybody. Just keep writing it. Keep coming down with it. All right, let's flash it. What can I take out of the first two? X. Okay, well, I take out an X. I'm left with X minus 6. That's easy. My middle sign has to come down, right? This time it's different because I'm taking out a negative. Does everybody see that? So what's the GCF here? 1. If it ever doesn't have 1, it's 1, right? And because it's negative, whenever I take it out, what's going to happen? That last sign is going to change. This is going to be X minus 6. Your other check on this is you go, but wait, these have to match, right? So you know that sign's got to change. If you ever get confused, you can check yourself by distributing back out to see if it distributes right. So now I've got 2, X minus 6, X minus 1. Tell me what you think. Give me a thumb on factoring. Yes, maybe, nope. Everybody give me a thumb. Let me see what you got. Okay, we look pretty good. Okay, so my goal